It went
I'm
dark.
fucking. Well, I'm hungry.
Dude. But are you
Been fucking.
angry?
Been rugged and ragged, brother. Nice.
What is up?
Nice.
How's it going,
Dude, I
everybody?
got to log in so I can comment.
Oh, come on, man. You were the first one here.
Yeah, right.
Should have had that
You
done.
are such a slacker,
Yeah, but
bro.
for some reason I can't comment on my computer. Like if I want to answer somebody's comment, I have to do it with this.
Interesting. So we get an extra view there.
This whole time, bro, we've been scammed.
So, well, you were talking about that Prime drink. What drink is that one?
Oh, it's that KD. Shout out to the
He
Maryland
has his
boys
own
right there. Yeah,
flavor.
they all get them. This one tastes like cherry Kool-Aid straight up.
Oh, don't ask what Kurt's drinking.
I
You already
think
know.
we know. I think oh, there it is.
Brought to you by
this was
Pepsi or Diet Pepsi.
This was that vitamin shop for like super cheap. Like obviously it's Prime. Like, it's not as cool as it used to be. But
Well,
this one's actually really delicious, bro.
the dude's doing pretty good in his wrestling career now.
Dude, he's athletic as shit. Like he is.
I know. I saw him jumping around, and he like cleared the whole ring. To do some of his stuff, and he goes outside, dives everywhere.
Who?
There's that dude. What's his name? Logan
What?
Paul.
The Prime Energy drink. He's well, there's two YouTubers that started their own drink, which is like compared to Gatorade, and then they did an energy drink, so they got kind of a following, and now the dude is now in WWE as a wrestler.
WWE.
So he's doing everything. I think, did he do boxing?
He did. He fought Floyd. Logan fought Floyd.
Oh, that's what it was. And his brother's the one that fought Tyson.
Mike, yep.
Wait a minute.
So those are the YouTubers.
So he fought some old guy like his brother did?
Kinda.
Yeah.
He
So
also,
what
yeah,
dude is this?
but hold on. I'm gonna give him.
I'm sorry, you don't get no street credit for that.
No. I'm gonna give him some 50-50 love here. He fought this dude. I don't know if y'all follow like fitness stuff, but Bradley Martin. Bradley Martin's like a juiced up guy, like just a fitness guy, does goofy shit with weights. But he's like, I'm 260, bro. I could beat anybody. And he had like Nate Diaz, all these like and Mighty Mouse on his shit. He's like, bro, you're 150. I could take you. I'm 260. Well, Logan Paul went over. Was like, look, no cameras, yada yada yada. At the end, they didn't show nothing, but like Logan was hyped as shit, and Bradley had a couple knots on his head, and it was like, I respect you, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like he got humbled real quick by a dude that technically, I guess, isn't a real fighter, but like I mean, he could
He can fight. Like there's something
I-
there. He's not the best of the best, but like
Right.
he knows he does it. And these guys that's all they do in their free time is probably train. I mean, that's why they get so jacked and good at this shit. If I was a content creator and I had time to do all that, I mean, I would too. But barely have enough hours in the day.
Give up your day job, brother, and you can do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do a video.
We need our day jobs to create content.
That's what someone had mentioned. Someone that we talked to was like, "Well, I can't because like that's the content, right?"
Yeah, exactly.
But I was gonna do a video very soon on like, I think you had went over it, Jake, like how much you make and all that. I was like, because people want to know, and I want people to know about the sponsorships, right? Like that's a thing. There, obviously, we have some in the corner that support us, but like that's a thing. You can get paid for this stuff, and I was gonna go over kind of like, because YouTube doesn't, at least for us, Kurt, it's a different story, but at least for us, like YouTube doesn't pay us much. We make more like outside of that. So I'm gonna try to get into all the logistics and that kind of stuff soon.
What, with a video?
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm gonna throw it on the tech channel or my main channel because I'm trying to keep my main channel on a schedule. So it's been like tool reviews, work videos every week, like trying to keep it up, which has been helpful. It's growing pretty good now. But on the tech channel, I kind of talk about the other stuff, so I might throw it over there. I don't know. I'll share it when it goes up.
Well, dude, I've watched your channel, and when you're consistently putting out stuff, is when you do better.
Yeah, I've learned that. But like I tried what you do. I can't do what you do. Posting every day. That was stressful. I think I tried it last year. It was stressful and then my videos tanked.
Mhm.
But if you keep a certain schedule and consistency, you'll see it grow over time. I've learned that much. Cuz I don't know
Yeah.
if you've noticed some guys that stop and then they try to start up again, they don't it doesn't work. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
have y'all, either one of y'all, heard anything about John Israel? Is he? I'm afraid that he might not be alive. I don't know what's going on with him.
Bro,
Well, he
you
liked
got you
you.
got I was gonna say you got his number, big dog. Hit him up.
I've never interacted with him, spoken to him. I just know of him. And he
Well,
was
dude,
like pretty
I
adamant that he was going to start posting a lot. Like what was it like a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
well, dude, I'll be honest. I did have contact with him recently,
I think everybody
but
knows him.
in retrospect, I'm not sure if it was him or if I was. I just haven't seen his face. I don't know if he's okay or not.
It's weird, right? Like that was like I was like what I was saying is like I think everybody knows of him
Let
cuz he
me
was
let me
pretty
phone a
big.
fr- let me just phone a friend real quick.
I mean, he just dropped off the map,
he
and
pops in.
Yeah. Let me just check on this guy real
Yeah,
quick.
cuz he
Come on.
wasn't he like a 30, 40,000 subs or something? And he
yeah,
said
he
he
was on
was
up there.
and he said he was doing
Yeah, he's
pretty
at
well, but I mean, you never know. That's why I made that comment, or like I did my story the other day because someone like was trying to give me life advice about my money. Like, oh, don't spend it on tools, pay off your mortgage, and put money here and there. And I was like, dude, like you don't know anybody's situation through a lens, right? Like we don't know what happened to John because
Yeah,
he was doing really well, good channel and all that, but like life happens. You don't know
mm-hmm.
what's going on, so.
yeah.
Straight up.
Just like with
Straight
Well,
me.
up.
maybe if I do get in touch with him, I'll try to ask him what happened. I mean,
I can
I
hit
hate to
up
see anybody going through hard times like that.
let me hit up Uncle Ted real quick and I'll ask Uncle
Oh
Ed.
yeah, ask
He'll
Ted.
know.
Check up on guys. I mean, PSA.
We can ask Gil. Gil
Check
might
up on
know.
some. You don't want to bring that up. Um, but PSA, check up on people. Every now and then, I wonder the same thing, and usually, unfortunately, something bad has happened to where they don't want to. They're not motivated to post anymore because, like, rough patches. Like I've checked in on a few guys, and it's like, oh, dude, life happened. They're struggling with this or that, and I mean, being in front of a camera is not for everybody. So like we're so used to seeing these people post week. What the hell are you doing? We're so used to seeing these people post so often. So when they stop, like Kurt, if Kurt misses a day, everybody thinks that something happened to him.
Yeah, I missed a day the other day.
How many
Kurt.
wellness checks did you get?
Dude, my life is weird sometimes. I had somebody. Did y'all see that video where I talked about the police chasing somebody behind my shop?
I don't think so.
It was at the end of the video, so you might not have seen it. But
Okay.
we had a police chase that involved helicopters and state patrol, Department of Natural Resources, county cops from two different counties, and it was all happening right by my shop. And this guy that watches my videos, he's a fan. He realized that my shop was right by his house. So he stopped by today to say hello and say how
Oh
much he liked
fuck,
it.
shit, damn it.
What? Were you wanting this story to go somewhere else?
No, just now, like once you get to a level like that, you're like, shit, bro. I can get a little leery. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, fortunately, you probably, people are courteous, I suppose. Courteous. It's a Curtis.
I haven't had any bad experiences with people coming up to me.
Yeah, no, it's just like now, like all of a sudden he knows where your shop is, and that's all. I
See,
mean,
that's my thing. Like, I don't like obviously what we do. Well, not only on YouTube, but like our businesses, right? Like they're public. People can Google those business names and find us, and like all that's public information. I
yeah,
still don't like to post like the number out or the the what do you call it, the license plates or like anything, any new like number of any sort, because like if you make it easy for people, they will be malicious. To me, I think. And then like I don't know, if they really wanted to get a hold of you, that they can. I mean, there is that side, but I try not to post too much. I don't like posting my kids, family. I don't even post when I have other guys in the video or on the job site. I try not to post that either because just you never know.
yeah, for sure. I had a lot of what would the word be? Encounters lately. At
Do tell.
supply houses. Even Q has had like a guy like, hey, you work with Kraus, you know what I mean? At like a supply house. Or like people like honking at me on the highway and shit. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
all right,
There's a lot of
what's
people there in
up?
Florida
Yeah,
that I've come across too, that they're like, oh, that they know of you and they watch your videos and stuff.
and like every
It's
Dude,
time I drive by, I like the competition, especially after that one quote unquote incident with the
what were they gonna do? Sue you or something?
that's what they said. Go after me, bitch. You can't do
But I
shit.
always,
Sorry.
but yeah, I always wonder, like when I see, like you said, competition, if they're like, oh, that's that YouTuber.
Yeah, I'm like, look at this fucktard. Like I
dude,
had
sometimes. Go ahead, Jake.
no, it was gonna be a rambling. Go ahead.
Sometimes I walk into my supply houses and some very serious people turn around and look at me and they're like, "You're that guy with that YouTube channel, ain't you?"
Yeah, it's
I
funny.
said, "Well,
Like,
how'd you know? Was it the camera on my chest? I mean, what gave it away?"
how did you? Yeah, right.
Or the big
I
HVAC guy on the van.
dude, I walked up. I always shout out my boys at Tropic again. Shout out Tropic Supply. Well, the other day they had a guy come in there and it was like, "Yo, I saw this on Krause's channel. I wanted to come in and check it out." Which I'm like, that's dope because again, they're a small business technically. They got 26 locations in Florida, family owned and operated. That's
I
why
wish we had something like that.
that's why we like to deal with them, and it's cool that another contractor was able to go in there from that, and they were very appreciative. I mean, it was cool. So
No,
No,
that is very cool when you can help
let me
like that.
ask you. I saw your video today. Did they cover any of the labor replacing that condenser?
Oh, we're gonna get right
oh,
into it, I guess.
all right, hey, if you
So
guys haven't,
I was gonna
first of
let
all,
Jake go first, and then I don't know, Kurt, you can think of something that you want to complain about because I got some shit that I've been dealing with too. But Jake, tell us about that wonderful new install.
dude. So y'all can go ahead and go check over at the Instagrams. That's what they call it, the Instagrams, I believe. It was over there. I just posted a short. I'll have a full video coming out.
Great.
Installed a brand new 454 system. It's a Rude, and I've been installing Rude for quite some time now. You know what I mean? That's even going back to Ream back in 2010. No issues like this. And it's funny because the show we had last week with Ty, we were talking about the fractionating of the refrigerant and things like that.
Oh, I have some stuff that I want to pull up about that too.
Brand new system, right? Okay, on startup, the original thing was a bad TXV. So we replaced the TXV. Boys, again, they met us down the street. It was after hours. They came, they brought us, shout out to Tropic,
So
replaced
you
it.
had several issues with this thing?
Yeah, that was the first thing.
Oh shit.
Started it up. Again, it ran for about 2 hours. And then customer called the next day saying, hey, it's 91 degrees in here. Go out there. We got a
That's
dead
the
shorted
worst.
compressor. It's a LG compressor because you never know what you're getting with these RP15s and shit. If they're gonna put an LG
No,
or
I
a
mean I
Copeland.
would prefer they put a Copeland, but yeah.
Yeah,
We see
straight
LG
up.
and Samsung a lot too.
But late, like on these 454 systems from Root, and even a couple of the Goodmans with the 32, the startup, man, these systems do not
I'm
sound.
sorry, hold on real quick. This motherfucker just tries to sneak in here. Tito, what is up, dude?
You turd. Hey, bro, I'm gonna be out your way next week, dog, out in that Bay Area, cuz.
What the hell
East
are you doing in
Compton
Cali?
Yeah, I'll tell y'all boys. I'll tell y'all boys. Your boy is going out to Cali.
Well, stay
So
hydrated, Tito says, and I need to hit him up later. We talk every now and then. I need to hit him up later, but go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, Jake.
So, anyways, dead compressor on startup. Basically, startup right 2 hours doesn't count.
You want
Shorted
to
the
address?
ground.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I just want to bring up the comments.
No. We no.
No,
We're very particular.
the
No, we're
compressor.
very particular about that shit. Brand new line sets, everything. We do take out TXVs. It's like, yeah. Anyways, this is actually the second one. I told y'all about the first one, remember? I had to shift the reversing valve multiple times and it finally worked.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
I'm sorry, I was reading the
So,
comments.
anyways,
Sam is like
so
yelling at me in the comments.
454 system, dead compressor. Shout out to Tropic again. They replaced the whole condenser. They had already had the warranty filled out for replacing that condenser. On startup, it sounded like shit again, but that bitch ran. So,
What's it? Wait a minute. Is it a rotary compressor? You said it's LG, right?
this is one of those two stages. There's two
Yeah.
stages they have with that. Excuse me, with those two blue wires that they're running through it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they got like the that suction line. Was it it's not a muffler that they're putting in on those down there. I have to look at it again. But anyways, point of the story is 454 dead compressor on startup. So
And those
I don't know
comments,
if this.
which I'm going to pull from the comments in a bit too, because those comments were a little concerning. And I think Ty has every right to do what he's doing, trying to get awareness and call these manufacturers out, because what the hell is going on? Because all the
I,
comments in there said that they had similar experiences.
I tagged Rude. I tagged Honeywell. I wanted to make sure they know that they're putting out this product. And with this discussion we had last week, which was very awesome, like they tested all these systems with 410. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
they, you know what I mean? Now we're the guinea pigs. We're throwing this shit out there. 32's been around for fucking decades, not having the issues there. We throw this in, and now all of a sudden, like this dude had no AC from Friday until yesterday.
And that's the part they don't get.
Hold
Like
on,
my
granted,
customers.
hold on. I just want to say he didn't have
Okay.
AC before that too. But, it was a dead flat R22 system with a leak in the coil train 2002. So go ahead, boom, done.
No, I was gonna say that's the part that manufacturers, and I think Ty made a point about that too. Like they only care about like their part of it, which is like we make the equipment, we sell it, hands are washed, right? And we as the technician out there, the business. I mean, all of us run a business. You got to explain. You got to have that uncomfortable conversation, like, oh, this is defective or that went out or whatever. You got to wait a little bit
Mm.
longer for cooling, or in my case, I've been having issues with freezers lately, and it's like they can't waste that product. It's just frustrating as a technician nowadays, right? Like in this transition from this or
You know,
to these new refrigerants and stuff.
Y'all hear that?
I did.
I
Oh,
don't
go
know.
ahead. No, what was it?
Probably tropical storm, thunderstorm warning or something.
I was gonna say I'm prepared this time. My Wi-Fi is hooked up to a power station right now. If anything happens, because I've been hearing thunder too.
Dude, are you
Yeah,
near San Antonio?
I'm
3 hours.
3.5 hours south.
Dude, they were in the news with bad flooding and
Have they?
You
Because
buy
there
Are
was
you
a crazy storm that was up there.
by
I haven't
McAllen?
checked. McAllen, yes.
Okay. I For whatever reason on my shorts feed on YouTube, a bunch of houses just keep and they're fucking cheap and gorgeous and like castles for like 300,000. I'm moving to fucking Callan, but everybody's like, yeah, if you want the cartel as your neighbors. I'm like,
Dude, I mean, if you,
I'm-
I don't go to Mexico anymore, and like I'll just be honest, like I used to go when I was a kid. I don't go anymore. I don't even bother because it's not worth it. But
yeah.
we don't. We're fine where we're at.
That's what I said. I'm
Uh,
like, bro, like you don't. There's not all this shit going down. Like, yeah, the cartel took another house. I'm like, all
and my
right, you
and
know what I mean?
yeah, and my brother, who's more fluent in Spanish than I am, like I'm okay at it, and I've lost it over the years. My brother works where he has to speak it every day, so like he goes over with friends and everything, and they're fine over there. Like he visits often, but he knows his way around. Like as long as you stay out of trouble, you're fine. Like there's no issues, and it is dirt cheap to live here. I will say that.
Dude, crazy, bro. I'm like, fudge. You get a massive, beautiful house with a pool and land for like very affordable. I'm like,
Well, that's
uh,
why I made because that comment earlier that I said, you know, you never know about somebody's situation. Somebody was trying to tell me like not to buy tools, not to spend my money on this or that, and I'm like, dude, most of my shit is paid off. I don't have any debt. I don't do that kind of stuff. Like I'm not done with my money. And yeah, I don't know. It was somebody giving me some weird life advice.
can't tell them to mind their own business. Well, you can't say that because technically we're putting our stuff out there. So, you know what I mean?
Here and there, yeah. So that sucks. And I think we were chatting about it. I've only had that happen like 2 times. A compressor dead on arrival, and I
Yeah, dude.
literally
No, that
just talked about it on one of my podcasts. I think that I recorded recently, and you like for me, like for you, like it was a callback, but for me, it's like on the install. This shit didn't want to start. So there was one
mhm.
that was grounded, I think, like your situation, and there was another one that was just immediately would just overamp and kick out. And I'm like, the old one wasn't doing that. We were replacing it for other reasons, and then the new one was doing that. So we had to send it out, get a new one, and it worked. But I was there all day, like it can't be a bad compressor. It can't be a bad like. I was like, what the hell's
Right?
going on? Yeah,
Straight
it's a
up,
weird
dude. You're like,
feeling.
oh, the breaker's bad. No, the disconnect. Oh, there's a loose wire. Oh, you know what I mean? It's like, but nah, dude. As soon as I pop that shit off, it's funny. I did get a message in my comments from Tim, and I was like, fuck you. This is why I don't post. This is why I don't post shit because I don't
That's
want
why you're
somebody like
scared.
Tim coming in. Yeah, but he was like, you need to check it at the. He said at the cap head. I've never called it. I don't know. Anyways, and
at the
he's
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, and somebody was like, looks like at the end he did. He was like, yeah, I was coming back to say he did because originally
yeah.
I had said, and
Oh, he
clipped it
was
out. I was
getting
like,
after you for checking at the wires.
at the wires, yeah. And
Yeah.
the original video, I was like, and for everybody that's gonna say, don't check at the wires, check at the compressor. I say that like just like that, but then I clipped it out because I whatever, and I just show it because I'm like,
This one's
somebody's
for
gonna say so.
this one's for you, Tim. I'm checking at the
Yeah.
compressor.
I was like, damn.
I did one of the videos I recorded today was yet another blower motor, and I
Scared of
didn't
Tim.
publish it because
Everybody's scared of Tim.
I've done like four blower motors in the last on the videos anyway
Mm.
for in the last couple of weeks. So I didn't want to do another blower motor,
I know.
but it was one
Jake
of
knows
those
that
things.
feeling.
I couldn't believe the motor was bad. It was a brand new motor.
So it's just like
So
nowadays everything's shit.
Like we know the quality control is just gone to ass.
well, I did find out why this one burned up.
Okay.
And and I corrected the problem and tried to get it to work again, and it wouldn't work. It had a wire that had rubbed loose on one of the speeds that was not being used. It had rubbed through, and it was shorting the ground. So the motor was turning very slowly and overamping. So repaired the wire, and I moved it away from any kind of short and tried again, and it still did the same thing. So,
And then yeah, they don't. Well, nothing is as good as back in the day. But I had my situation, which I meant to call them today, but I was out today for some doctor visits and all that. But I wanted to call tech support because I've been dealing. I take everything back that I ever said about Heatcraft. I love Heatcraft because I've been dealing with now Russell, which I think they're under. Oh my God, what is it? Heat transfer something. Like they have a or heat transfer group, something like that. Like that's the name of it, but it's a Russell branded walk-in box, right? So I made a video on my YouTube channel because I went out to it. It was a new walk-in box, new freezer, but I've never dealt with the freezers. I've usually dealt with the coolers. It's more forgiving, it gets to temp pretty quick. On this freezer, new unit, they were complaining that the fans never sped up, right? They're 2-speed motors, ECM motors. I was like, okay, let me check it out. And I was checking all the inputs and everything, had to defrost the coil. So a lot of, time doing that crap. And I'm like, okay, this board keeps calling for low speed and we are like below freezing. It should already, as far as I know, it only, if somebody can correct me in the chat, if you guys work on these boxes, on the manual, it strictly says under 35 degrees, your fans go full speed. It works like normal. There's nothing else like that it senses, right? It has like 3 different sensors, I believe. I checked them all. They're all working fine. So I told the guy on tech support because I was like, I can't figure it out. I had to bypass it. And even when I bypassed it, the motors were acting a little funny. So he's like, okay, change the motors out because obviously they're acting up. And I'm like, okay, but my board is still, if I go through everything, it's activating low speed, like from what I can tell. And it has lights and everything. Like you can tell what it's doing. And he's like, okay, well, I mean, you said it. You got a bad board. Like just change out everything. I was like, all right. So everything's under warranty, right? And I had messages that were like, oh, sure, they told you to change everything. Like of course, tech support.
Yeah, right. Like,
so I did that. The customer buys their own equipment, so they, they're gonna exchange it and all that. So they sent them out new motors and a new board. The new board looks different. It's bigger for some reason. I don't know why. Like what the difference is. I was gonna call and ask what that was too. I put the board in. I put the motors in. The motors were fine this time. I had no issues with them acting like different speeds and all that. And before it was like intermittent. Like one would speed up, one would slow down. It goes weird. Put in the new board and waited for it to drop temp because it was already like, I think it was already like 15 degrees in there when I went back and I just had to change it out, defrost a little bit of the ice I had built up. And I was like, okay, it should immediately go into full speed. Nope. So I checked again and it's like, it's still calling for low speed. And at this point, like, what the hell do I tell the customer? I had to bypass the board again and I'm going to call them again and see what's going on. But I'm like, you can't tell me I have another bad board. Like what the hell is going on? Right. So the first time they were without adequate temps because it was like stuck at 20 with the original motors. And now we're getting a temp, but I'm having to bypass the damn board. So it's like, what the hell's going on with this equipment right now? And what?
This ain't.
I was reading the comments.
Okay.
This ain't the first time we've been through this. When we went from shaded pole motors to PSC, everybody complained because they had a capacitor that failed and.
Sorry, what kind of motors?
Shaded pole.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you an example of a shaded pole.
Ones that...
Inducer draft motor that only has 2 wires.
Okay.
That's a shaded pole motor.
I'm young in the field, y'all. PSC to ECM.
It's been a while.
That's my extent.
Well, the shaded poles are even more dependable than the PSCs, but they are very inefficient.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, like I think somebody had recommended to me, like if I'm having issues with the motors, that I need to rip out the ECMs and put in some PSC motors. And I was like, that was going to be my next step because I don't know what the hell's going on. But I mean, the motors are fine right now. It's just like like I said, I wanted to call today. I just didn't have time. And I want an answer from Russell now because I've had issues with this freezer. And I know a lot of their sensors go bad. I've had to change those out under warranty. And, and I used to have videos on Heatcraft where I had issues with their board when they came out with IntelliGen. But like once we replaced those original boards, like maybe it was a bad batch or something. I have not been called back for any of those problems anymore. Like they've been working perfect. It was just that initial ones that we put in where the boards were going bad. And this one, I will say this one, the reason this is the third board in there. So the first one actually, I think it froze over, which maybe the motors are going bad. And one of our new guys was there to defrost it, and he said that it got iced over on the board. And they
Mm.
tried to clean it off and then dry it off, and it worked. But he said the display was acting funny, right? And then I go back out there to help him check it. Like they were still working there, and I went out there and I was checking. I'm like, oh, okay, it seems to be working. I'm checking everything, seeing what the inputs and everything are. And then the display just dies. And I was like, I'm sorry, like you're gonna have to empty out this freezer because like there's nothing else you can do. It's a new
Right.
system. Board gives out. I can't even program
It's-
anything.
yeah.
And
Some
then we had the
buns,
issues with
bro.
the speeds and stuff. So like that's been what I've been dealing with this past week.
So you've dealt with it. Everybody's just had shit luck. You know what I mean? It's just nothing is built with quality. Nothing is built with integrity. You know what I mean?
Oh, and then
And
Mike made a good point. He's like, Adrian, wait till all those walk-ins are 454B and see what issues we have.
bro, y'all gonna have the struggle bus is gonna be real.
Look, let me look it up real quick. What is that news site? That HVAC news site?
Never heard of it. You tell me.
ACHR News.
ACHR. Yeah, brother. ACHR. Kurt, you're one of the riders for that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm what?
One of the riders.
One of the founders.
No.
They put
I think they send me stuff in the mail, but I don't ever read it.
Kurt, what's on your hat, bro? I can't see, dude. I'm just blind.
That comes with a story.
That's why I asked. I want to hear the story.
Well, I was receiving some equipment today. Went back
Okay.
to crank up my forklift, and it wouldn't crank. The batteries were dead, so I went to go buy me some new batteries.
Oh, heavy duty diamond batteries, brother. Okay.
Yeah. And I liked the
And
hat. I thought it looked.
they give it to you, or would you buy it?
Oh, I had to buy it.
Oh, I was hoping to be like, do you know who I am? I'm just gonna start asking for everything, bro. Like, you know what? I want a new boat. Not a new boat. I don't even have a boat to begin with. But I was just talking to my neighbor. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna fucking ask somebody. I could probably get away with it.
there's some people that do, and they get they get what they ask for.
Yeah, dude.
You never.
Yeah, I
That's
think
why we say you never know until you ask.
I'm gonna have to go with MC. Oh shit! Tell us
Are you still
more. Tell us more. Quick,
working with
quick, quick,
them?
quick.
They're trying real hard to make a working man happy.
Okay,
Ah, talk dirty to me, Kurt.
Now they want to send me a truckload of supplies instead of paying me for a video.
Be like, well,
They started following me. I haven't hit them up yet.
first of all, be like, I can get all the supplies I need. Technically, I just want the money.
But what about this?
I know, right?
You can specify what you want, and you get $1,500 worth of supplies.
It's
I
not
mean,
And they
bad.
don't have
10,000, 3,000 minimum.
Negotiate.
I'm still talking. I've already done one deal with them. I'm still talking about the next one.
Cool.
All right.
That's awesome.
All right. I need to give a OMC's on the ball with that though, right there. You
Stay
know what
away.
I'm
That's
saying?
what everybody's saying. Just be a real technician and fix everything and hold off as long as you can from 454.
Well, here's the unfortunate part, bro. This coil that
Well,
this gentleman had was leaks in multiple spots on an R22 system. How much does that coil cost? Plus
I
the
was gonna
labor,
say
plus the
it
refrigerant. Like
depends.
it's
It depends on
yeah,
the what part of the HVAC you're in. Like residential is a lot harder to put off
yeah.
stuff.
Like the coil itself. I don't know. I want to say it was probably $1,200. Like my labor is not to say 4 to 6 hours short. It's not going to take that long,
And
right?
then
But that's what you bill it out, right?
yeah.
I mean, at the
And
end of
then
the
what's gonna
day,
happen? They're
go
gonna call
ahead.
somebody else if you don't do it.
So it's like, we give the options, of course. So like the coil, bro, it was pricey with the refrigerant and the labor and everything. It was probably like 4 to 6 thousand. I want to say, because that system
Good.
took it was a 19 XLI and it took 17 pounds of refrigerant. You know what I mean? And plus it had an inch and an eighth line set. So,
Oh shit.
17 pounds.
bro, it was ridiculous. I had to pull up the picture.
That's like
I
a
But
can hear
$1,000 home in one system.
I can hear it
exactly.
pouring right now. So we're gonna put those power stations to test if our power goes out. Just letting you guys know.
Now we know ahead of time. If this drops out,
Well, no, it's not gonna
The
drop
lights go
out.
out.
I have the Wi-Fi hooked up to a power station already.
oh, he's already you
I'm
were that
prepared.
prepared. Yikes, let's go.
Dude, the power stations are so cool. I like them. There's lots you can do with them.
I know, right?
That that
Somebody
I need, I need to do one for my computer here.
that's what I was trying to do, but
yes.
like the fan would kick on, so I have it just in case. I do have one like under the desk if I need it.
That
Maybe one for my
that's
entertainment.
awesome. Mate,
You need one for every
my-
room.
every appliance.
That Milwaukee one is not bad.
Yeah,
We
that
did
Well,
use
looks
it last
cool.
time.
You're slacking, bro. Because you ain't got enough fucking 12 volts or 12 amp hours, bro.
I had to ask her because I was like, "You sent me 6.0s. I need the big ones."
I asked her for some big one, the 12 amp hours
Yeah.
Yeah.
months ago. She told me they were on back order, but she would get them to me eventually.
Oh, really?
I feel like I haven't seen a lot of them in stores, to be honest with you.
Well, I just asked recently. I don't
The
know.
new
She didn't
one-
tell me.
The new ones anyway, the Forge batteries.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's what I would want.
What the 8s or the 6s are supposed to be compatible. The Forge 6s are compatible, or the equivalent of a 12, 21700 cell,
Oh,
if I'm
okay.
not mistaken.
I have those, the 6 Forge.
Oh, and then you're good.
I know, but I want something better.
Yeah, but no, it's not. The Forge is better.
Oh no, I know, but I asked her for the Forge 12.0.
Oh yeah. Those things are fresh. Let's go take.
I've never. Yeah, I guess they're new and stuff. So really quick, I pulled up the article before I lose it again from ACHR News, and they got this from Carrier, I guess. They're expecting that R454B is gonna level off where it needs to be by the end of July. That's when everybody should see it more readily available, right? But he says going into September is when it's going to normalize.
Yeah, because they done made all their fucking money, bro. They're like, oh, we'll just hit them now. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. It's such bullshit. Like, we clearly know they're monopolizing on this shit, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Ty made a
level
good
out at
point.
the end of. Yeah, dude. That's why like Ty put that shit out there. Take that shit to legislation to the whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Be smart people stuff.
Because they're screwing us.
At the end of
Just-
July, bro, and level off by September, okay, our season's over at that point. Yeah, of course. The
Oh
demand's
yeah,
not going
because
to be
nobody. Yeah,
nearly
the
as
demand.
high.
Yeah. Well, we
It-
think. Well, what if everybody like frantic buys once it is available, and then
yeah, that's
again
true.
we're out?
Here's my thing.
Because like you mentioned,
You we
you had mentioned that
bruh,
people were the other
bruh.
way.
Seasoning to put on your soup or our tuna fish?
I can't look. I'm on a damn shit. What?
So Jake had mentioned you turn off. You can turn off your camera. I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Jake.
Technical difficulties.
All right. So
There you go.
I muted this. Okay. Go ahead.
Shit. What was I saying? What were
We
we
were
talking
talking
about?
about the 454. It's going to level off, but then you said like, yeah, people are going to like frantic, like panic buy that shit. Oh,
Motherfucker.
damn.
Did the power really go out?
Yo, let's go.
Hold on. Am I back?
Power station. Yeah, no, you never left.
I told you I'm prepared. Now my
You said-
freaking
you
light's gonna be
said-
flashing.
Yeah, you said motherfucker. We heard you. Oh man.
Carry on.
It's
I need
like,
to
but-
fix this stupid light.
What's your thoughts though, Kurt? Like, here's my thing. I told the homeboy because we each got a jug, right? Well, by each. There's 3 of us, but I was like, realistically, bro, you don't even much need more than that because it's not like we're just out
Really
here
quick,
replacing
really quick
and
before I
fixing.
forget. Can I interject?
Yeah, go.
What
bro.
I was gonna say is that you had mentioned that bigger companies are buying up,
Mhm.
this shit. God, hold on.
Darn.
Bigger companies.
You're not. Yeah.
I know. Let me just finish. Bigger companies are buying up pallets or whatever they can, and the smaller businesses are the ones that are going to struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did that shit to us last year. They did it purposefully and in hopes of doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And
carry on with your story. I'm going to make a real quick switch so that this doesn't happen again, but I'm going to turn this off real quick. Continue.
my big thing is I'm not too pressed about needing 454. Like, it's not like we're just out here dealing with systems with 450. The only time you have an issue is if you are replacing a system, right? Like, and for whatever reason that needs the refrigerant. But for the most part, with the 15 to 30 feet additional line set now that they're adding to the condenser, like, we should be okay. You know what I mean? So this whole shortage of grabbing it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as much in the market that we need to be worried about or concerned about. You know what I mean, Kurt?
Well, I bought that one drum last year. I still got it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody was like, "Oh my god!" It was like a fake. Like, when COVID happened, everybody bought fucking toilet paper. Okay, like, why? This is like this. I would equate this 454 solution or epidemic to that. Like, okay, is COVID giving you massive diarrhea, or is 454 like replacing 410? Like, no, like, we don't. Like you said, you bought that tank last year, and you haven't needed it.
Nope.
So
All I've done
with
try to stay on fire.
Yeah, Shorty's been in here. Oh, yeah. Great demonstration.
that. Boom,
Shorty's been
exactly.
in here making some comments. My lights are going to flicker because everything's going crazy right now. He's been mentioning a couple times that they've been good with what they come with. Like you said, now they have that extra charge.
Mhm.
And they're trying to help out, some of them. I think Ty brought it up last week. Or was it last week? Whenever we had him on,
It was
right?
last week, yeah.
And as long as they don't go price gouging that aspect, I think we'll be fine, right? It's
Mhm.
just in certain situations, like, what are you going to do when, like, you have a leak? But hopefully by that time, everything has come back. And then the other thing he was saying is to, buy the 90 pound, right? And then put it in a recovery tank, vacuum it, clean it, and take that with you. Cause like the 90 pounds are available. And he got so much shit for that from, this is what I was going to bring up. He got so much shit from companies like manufacturers, the people, the chemors and all that, not to do that because that's technically illegal or whatever. And also that he's changing the state of it by doing that, and it's going to be no good actually if you do that,
That
which doesn't make any
yeah,
sense. So I feel like that's a little more fear mongering. Like, don't do
straight
this,
cap,
don't do
bro.
that. Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense because a lot of guys that do supermarket were saying we actually do that at our job because we deal with all these, big ass
Yeah.
cylinders. Like sometimes we do that too. Like that's a thing in supermarket. So Ty was like, why don't you do that for residential? If you can only buy the 90-pound, fill up a recovery cylinder and take it with you. Because that, like, what else are we supposed to do?
No, for sure. And he made great points about, 454 in replacement, or 410 in replacement of 454, not with 32. So to
I didn't know
that
that.
point, what I wanted to say was I was at Daikin and they had a big notice stating not to use 410 with their 32 or 454 with their 32. It is not the same, which Ty
Mm-hmm.
clearly stated, and we know, right? But I think that fractionation is such a
That's
it's
bullshit.
the real it's fucking happening. These systems are there and this shit's
Oh yeah,
separating in the condensers, and I think maybe this is why we're having the issue.
yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up from your video is all the comments you got, and I'm like, this is alarming because
Bro, that's
if
crazy.
it's if
There's so
it's
many people.
if something is going on, like then that's not a good refrigerant, like that you want to be carrying around either. Like I don't know. But yes, real quick, we mentioned last week for anybody that didn't catch it, R32 and 454 are different. You can put 410A, I want to say, was it R32? Like in an R32
No,
system?
410 or into 454.
Oh, I'm sorry. R32 is the one that's completely different.
Yeah.
So the other way around it is to do that. And I did talk to Dan Foss on my podcast. It's not out yet, but they're coming out with like dual refrigerant compressors, multi refrigerant
Oh,
TXVs and things like that to kind of help
what?
you. And I'm like, that makes a big difference, I think, to guys in the field because I've seen everybody trying to hack together something to get it working when they can't get certain refrigerants.
Ooh.
Dude, I just did a video where I put an R22 condenser on a trailer, bought a
Oh,
coil and converted it to R22 and filled it up with MO99 because he really wanted to use this R22
mm,
condenser. I thought it
Shit.
was a bad
What?
idea, but that was almost a $4,000 job. He could have put that money towards a new system.
For sure.
yeah.
Mom, a good point. I was talking to George today. He's like, "Hey, can I do this?" And it was a 410 system with a 454 air handler. And I was like, "We might have to start going back to doing things to this, obviously, because air handlers are going to be dry, right? All it has is the sensor and
Yeah.
shit." But remember when we would? I say we. I didn't ever do it, but swap out just condensers and then a TXV so we
Oh,
could
I've done it.
keep. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was such a common practice, but with all this CO2 and refrigerant change and this and that, like we might now still in a sense be able to do something similar to that. I'm just curious on your guys' thoughts.
I hope so.
Yeah. It's something
So,
that we've done in refrigeration a lot. Is just as long as your TXV is changed out, you're good. We've had to mismatch stuff before just to get it to work, and that's why I bring up the Danfoss thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, their products components are going to be solutions for that kind of stuff.
Wasn't it a universal TXV they're coming out with? Was that what it
Yeah,
was?
I talked
That
to him, and it's supposed to have the different new A2Ls with 410A as well.
that's a clutch move right
And he
there.
told me they've been working on it for a while. Like it's something that they've had to strategically design, and they're even changing the. As I never thought about it, the bulb charge. He's like, we're getting ahead of it. We're gonna go to
Mm,
A2L charge in that too. Like they don't want to. They want to be like first to it, I guess, and they're completely redoing it. So I was quoting
Kurt,
him.
you always wore a ring.
Yeah. Well,
I,
yeah.
I just noticed the black one. Has it always been black?
For a very long time now.
Very disobservant on my end. I saw you do one of these numbers and I saw it. I was like, never noticed it. Sorry. Side note, just
Shorty
the squirrel.
is already annoyed with the A2L kits. I did talk to Heatcraft because we're seeing that with the walk-ins that they're going to come with, or they're going to have kits that you can put in and stuff like that. But that's another thing. He's like Shorty. Dylan here says that he's installed 4 different ones, and they are all different as far as the A2L kits.
I see, it's such booty.
And that's another thing. I didn't get to. Oh, I think I'm gonna wait till my next. I have an A2L discussion that I'm gonna have on my podcast. Like, that's kind of where I wanted to ask all this crap. Like, what about the sensors? Like, try and get different questions for that because that's another crap that we have to deal with.
They should have just all just gone with 32. I mean, but it was very interesting to hear the perspective or the conversations that were heard or said from behind closed doors, basically just trying to hurt Daikin. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody else decided we're going 454 instead of 32 with at least having a track record, right?
And 32 was used longer. It's been around and all
exactly.
that. And it's 454 is just it's Honeywell.
And when I brought up the question about, the EPA, and it was very good to hear that, this isn't an EPA thing, but
Yep.
having a lower GWP, regardless if they decided to change it, both refrigerants would have to be removed.
Phased
I
out.
thought it
Yeah.
was, because from what I heard when I did a A2L class with Rude, they told the reason they went with the 454 was because of its lower GWP.
That's what they
And
want
if
you to
they
think.
exactly, and he's like, well, because now he said because if they decide to change it again to a different lower number, the only other next numbers, I think he said 300. They're both out of the thing, so yeah. Anyways, it's just
Eddie's like, just don't even plug in the sensors.
we're gonna get through this shit anyways. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
See, this is alarming to me because Eddie was saying on Goodman, which everybody has been praising Goodman. Now
Yeah.
that
Yep.
everybody's else has gone to shit. But it's funny because everybody's like, it's not that Goodman got better. It's just that everyone else dipped in quality.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, either way you look at it, it's not looking too good for these other brands.
I think the acquisition was good for Goodman once Daikin and all that. I seen their products level up.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing about Daikin because I just had that conversation with my dad because we were like quoting out some units and stuff. I'm like, I actually like the newer Daikins that we've installed. Like we've had no issues with them. It's the older ones that immediately would always leak in the condensers. We had issues with different things, but like I'm okay quoting out a newer one because in the past few years I've never had an issue other than I think one of them had a bad compressor, but it was under warranty, changed it out, whatever. And no leaks though, which is good to see. On Goodman, that kind of sucks. Eddie's saying that you can program the boards but not read the sensors, which I don't even trust sensors anymore because I have to check them now every time I do a walk-in box because they've been bad out of the box. Daikin raking in the money.
We gotta get some oil on Kurt's chair. It's like, damn Tin Man. Okay, it's not doing it now. It sounds great, actually. But Dill Pickles, bro. You put out a video on how to bypass these put it out there into the ether, man.
You're sitting on gold right there. That video
Yeah,
idea.
bro. That's one.
A2L, who needs? Oh, A2L sensors, who needs them?
Who needs them, man? I mean, that shit, it ain't nothing gonna happen.
All right.
Realistically, right? We saw Kurt
only-
go after it.
I've only had one service call on a 454 system, and it was
that
installed with the detector bypassed.
Just like that.
Yep. Well, that's like me.
I'll-
I have to bypass a damn board on the walk-in that I'm working on. But yeah,
I've got to assume they did that when they installed it. I came along
yeah.
just now to like do a preventive maintenance, and I'm checking on this because I haven't seen one of these before, and it's bypassed.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Brian over here, Dell Field unit 3 months old, already have to change the sensors, and that's one of the comments that I made. I've been changing
What's Dell Field?
sensors. It's like a under counter cool. Well, for me, I see them usually as under counter coolers and freezers, but I've been changing out sensors a lot too on a lot of new equipment, and that's a comment that I made in that video with those ECM motors that I was checking. I was like, I know the common problem, it's a sensor, but funny enough, that one was working. It was off a few degrees, so it wasn't perfect, but I mean, it was working. Anything else, guys?
You sure,
I don't wanna-
Kurt? You look like you had
wanna-
something to say, bro.
No. Life is throwing me a lot of changes right now, and sometimes it's hard for me to make a 7 o'clock evening
Hey,
appointment.
can
so I
we
go-
all? Hey, chat down in the chat. Can we all spam the comments with we love you, Kurt. Spam the comments, man. Come on.
Or
Spam
we're
the comments,
only
chat.
we're only here for
Sometimes if I can't make
Only-
it, please understand.
Bro, you
Oh,
need to make that a shirt. Only here for Kurt. Only here for HVAC guy, bro.
I
Love
will.
you, Kurt.
On that note, I do have some. I got one of them on right now. We got
I
Team
saw
Red,
it, bro. Yes, sir.
Team Red
I saw
HVAC
it.
Nights shirts, and I have another wave dropping very soon. So anybody listening, keep an eye out for that. I think they're awesome shirts.
They look awesome, bro.
It sounds like you really love them.
Yeah, I really think it's great. It sucks ass.
All right. Well,
Ah,
I don't want to keep everybody too long. I think we're good. We'll kind of carry the conversation on until next week. Everybody watching, the hell was that? Everybody watching and listening, we appreciate you all. We'll see you guys next week. Let me hit the outro.
Later, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Be safe out there. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
All the
Happy
blue collar.
I got
that
shit. Yeah, I didn't forget. All right, Kurt. I missed you on this one last week, dog. I need you on this one. Okay. Some bitch. All right, that was great. Fuck clutch, bro.